is up, YouTubers? It's Tahlequah89 and the voices in my head coming at you from the Duelist Den. And today I am profiling my Crusadia deck. This deck is extremely powerful and it is an extremely fun deck to play, as well as being a semi-competitive deck as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile, and if you do, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel and follow all the social media accounts, which I'll link to down in the description box below, so you can stay up to date with everything happening here at the Duelist Den. So let's go ahead and jump into the profile. For my build, I run 2 copies of Crusadia. All of the Crusadia main deck monsters have an ability that allows you to special summon them to a zone a link monster points to in defense position. Crusadia has a second ability, just like all of the rest of the Crusadia monsters, and that ability is that upon its summon, you can destroy a Crusadia card you control and a card that your opponent controls. I run 2 copies of Arborea. Arborea allows you to banish itself from the field or graveyard to prevent one of your Crusadias from being destroyed. 2 copies of Leonis. Leonis allows a link monster you control to deal piercing battle damage. I run 3 copies of Draco. I run 3 of Draco because it is graveyard recursion. It allows you to get your Crusadias out of your graveyard so you can continue pushing your plays. And 3 copies of Maximus. Maximus allows your Crusadia Link monster to deal double damage. I also run a Kaiju engine, which includes Thunder King, Jizakuri, Dogorin, Gamacil, and Comungus. I run 1 of each of the main Kaijus. And I also run a Grinder Golem. Grinder Golem is very handy as it does give your opponent a 3000 monster for one of your Crusadias to point to, and it does give you tokens that you can use for link summons. For the spells, I run 1 copy of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, just because I'm running the Kaiju package. You know, you gotta have the Slumber in there. 3 copies of Into the Void. Into the Void is a great card in this deck, as if you use it, then you're generally just using it to push your plays, and you usually won't go into the end phase to have to discard your hand. And on the rare occasion you do, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have cards to set face down on the field in your spell and trap card zone. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, and 2 World Legacy Secessions, just for some more graveyard recursion. I run 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is very, very essential in this deck, as you do a lot of searching. 3 copies of Crusadia Power to give my Crusadias some protection. 3 copies of Hornet Drones to allow me to push my link plays a little bit further. 3 Twin Twisters because back row is a pain in the ass for this deck. 2 Revival. Revival allows your link monster to attack all monsters your opponent controls and is really essential for the OTK. And 1 copy of Crusadia Vanguard, just for those instances where you do wind up having to go into a second turn for yourself and you need to protect your main deck monsters. This prevents your opponent from attacking anything other than your link monsters. For the extra deck, I run 3 copies of Magius. Magius allows you to search out a Crusadia monster when an effect monster is summoned to the zone it points to. And just like all of the Crusadia Link monsters, it gains attack equal to the attack of the monsters that it points to. I run 2 copies of Regulix. Regulix, you really only need it 2 because you run far fewer Crusadia spell and traps than you do Crusadia monsters. And 2 copies of Crusadia Ecomax. I only run 2 copies of Ecomax because you really don't need more than 2 copies of it. If the first one gets stopped, it's highly unlikely that the second one will. And even if it does, this deck does have other options you can go into. I run 1 copy of Link Karibo and 1 Sky Striker Ace Kagari for my Link 1s. Kagari is the only Sky Striker Link I run in here, only because it allows me to get my Hornet Drones back from the graveyard. The other 2 Sky Striker links don't really do much for the deck, so I did wind up cutting them for this build. For link 2s, I run an Underclock Taker, a Nightmare Goblin, a Nightmare Cerebus, and a Nightmare Phoenix. So I have the Nightmare package and Underclock just for my link 2s, just to help extend my plays if I need them. I run 1 copy of Decode Talker. Decode Talker is sort of an uber Equimax, and I know you're saying, might as well just run 3 Equimaxes, right? But Decode Talker does allow you to prevent cards from being destroyed, so I did cut the 3rd Equimax for a Decode Talker just because it has an ability that I can use. And for the final link monster, I run a Topologic Bomber Dragon. Bomber Dragon is a must-have in this deck because if you put Bomber Dragon on the field, you can summon your Crusade or special summon your Crusadias with their own effects to the zones it points to, and it serves as pretty much a dark hole for every time that you summon a monster to the field. So that is my Crusadia build. I hope you guys enjoyed this build as much as I enjoy it. It is a very, very powerful deck. That being said, the deck does have one major flaw. If they do manage to hit Equimax with a well-timed cherries, it can be a little bit difficult to go into your plays, but that is another reason why I run the Decode Talker, just because cherries is sort of a huge thing right now. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this profile, and as I said at the beginning of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, guys, it's Harpy189 and the voices in my head. Just want to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not just a game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is life.